You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Coming up, a heroic fire lieutenant uses himself as a human shield to save an elderly woman trapped in a fire.
Also, Garth Brooks performed in the Ozarks over the weekend. Some say they enjoyed it, while others want a refund.
And we're keeping an eye on a cold front off to our northwest that's going to bring us some more seasonable temperatures and maybe even a shot of rain, but we're still going to be toasty before we get there. The latest on your full forecast is just around the corner.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thanks for joining us for the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. The Miami Fire Department is making sure people know how to prevent fires. On Monday, they hosted a fire prevention show at the Coleman Theater. It was a chance for residents to learn about smoke detectors, tips to prevent fires, and how to properly extinguish them.
Clowns and put on costumes and get them interacted with different things. You know, during our show, we like to, ask them questions to get them interacted and, make sure that they're having a good time. It's all for them. It's fun for us, but it's also, it's all for the kids.
October is also Smoke Detector Awareness Month, and it's a reminder to check the batteries in your detector to keep you and your family safe. Well, some parts of Carthage, Missouri are receiving beautification projects, and one of those projects is a parking lot renovation at the 6th and Main parking lot. To celebrate its completion, Vision Carthage, among other Carthage offices, held a ribbon cutting.
Is that parking is a challenge, and we actually are fortunate to have about 6 public parking lots that maybe are a well-kept secret. So we wanted to try to promote the parking lots, improve the parking lots, make people feel comfortable to park there, and so that was, kind of the idea behind this initiative.
There are 5 other parking lots still under renovation. Well, you've probably heard Garth Brooks performed in the Ozarks over the past weekend. Some fans say they had a good time and enjoyed the concert, but other fans say they want refunds. It's estimated thousands never made it inside the venue because of traffic problems. For them, it was a not-so-perfect weekend. On Friday night, a witness saw several people walking from the fruit farm parking area. They crossed Highway 65 and walked along Highway 86 to the venue. There is no sidewalk and it was dark. Others decided not to walk and waited hours for a shuttle.
We stood there from, I want to say, 5:15 to about 8:30, and there was still at least 500 to 1,000 people in front of us, and we just realized there was no way we were getting in, so we just gave up and left.
We saw people with walkers, some people in like motorized scooters that just, you almost got stuck in it because you weren't able to navigate it at all.
I have a friend that actually attended on Friday night. She said her walk took 4 hours to get from her parking spot to the concert, but she did make it successfully. And then on Saturday night, she went back and offered people rides so they didn't experience the same wait. Well, for refunds, you can contact Ticketmaster or file a complaint with the Missouri Attorney General's office. Bass Pro, which owns the venue, has not commented so far on complaints by concert goers. Kansas Supreme Court traveled from Topeka, Kansas for arguments in 2 cases at Parsons High School. One case followed a man convicted of violating the Kansas Offender Registration Act. The other case involved a man convicted of aggravated kidnapping, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, and several other charges. The justices of the Supreme Court's traveled to multiple schools in the area to talk about the judicial system and how it works, and invited the community to join the court hearing.
A lot of things don't make sense to me, and I don't feel like sometimes that the politicians are on our side. And so I'm hoping to find out a little bit more about the system of checks and balances by looking at our highest judicial system in the state.
You can find more on these cases on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. It's the spookiest time of the year, and the Waco Schoolhouse Haunt is here to help cement that fact. Located inside an old schoolhouse built in 1934, the local haunt opened in 2013 by brothers Brian and Jason Wren. They say when the doors were pried open, it unveiled what time and locals didn't want anyone to see. From a creepy shadow man standing in the windows of the old classroom to many other spooky sightings, the Waco Schoolhouse Haunt has something to scare everyone.
everybody needs to come out, because even if you're scared to death, we'll make it comfortable for you and we'll make it enjoyable for you. And hopefully that way you're not scared of anybody else's haunt or anything that's in your backyard or looking through your window at night.
Waco Schoolhouse Haunt opened on the 1st and will be open every Friday and Saturday through the 29th.
And we've got an exciting interview with those guys coming up here a little bit later in the show. But first, we have some weather history for you. Back on this date, and these ones are the ones that are most fascinating to me, back in 1777, this is a bit of a long one here, but the Battle of Germantown was fought in a morning fog that grew more dense with the smoke of battle, causing great confusion. Americans firing at each other contributed to casualties during that battle. No fog to deal with today. Skywatch Storm Tracker locally is clear. We're watching this guy. It's a cold front off to our north and to our west, and it will eventually make its way down here. Now, right now at 7th and Range Line, we got a nice sunrise, clear skies, 58 degrees is where we are, and we've got good temperatures across the area to start the day. 51 Yates Center, 50 Parsons, 55 Columbus, 57 in Carthage, and 54 in Lamar. Going through the rest of today, we'll have increasing clouds. We'll be mostly cloudy by the afternoon with a high of 83 degrees. As we head into tonight, we hold on to mostly cloudy skies and a mild 57 for an overnight low. Quick look at the future track. Here's that cold front with a few remaining showers on it by Wednesday morning. It brings us cooler temperatures by Friday, and then Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, it brings us some isolated to widely scattered showers. And then next week, we're watching a system out of the southwest that brings us isolated to scattered shower chances nearly every day next week. And then as we head into Thursday evening, that's when we see our best chance for a few more widespread showers and maybe even some thunderstorms. On the 7-day forecast, 86 tomorrow, 85 Thursday. Cold front brings us down to 71 Friday. 74 Saturday. We warm back to the mid-80s by next week, and we watch those shower chances, something we absolutely need across the area.
Well, up next, a new study confirms pregnant women should indeed get the COVID-19 vaccine.
And later, it's the spookiest time of the year. The ghosts and ghouls are out to play, and now they're in our studio as Jason and Brian Wren step in the studio to tell you why you should come get scared at the Waco Schoolhouse Haunt. We'll have more on that. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
In Health Watch this morning, there's positive news in the fight against breast cancer, but outcomes are still worse for women of color. And why doctors are again recommending the COVID vaccine for pregnant moms-to-be. Naomi Ruckham takes a look at some of today's health stories.
A new study confirms previous recommendations that pregnant women should be vaccinated against COVID-19 for the health of both mother and baby. The study, published in JAMA Pediatrics, reviewed data from women who had received at least one COVID vaccine shot during their pregnancies. Researchers found no evidence of increased risk of preterm birth, small size of the baby, C-section, or other complications. Study authors also found that getting the shot was associated with lower risks of NICU admission and babies dying in the womb. Younger adults diagnosed with early onset dementia are up to 7 times more likely to die of suicide after diagnosis. A study out of the UK looked at tens of thousands of medical records over an 18-year period and found that nearly 2% of those diagnosed with dementia died from suicide. However, those diagnosed under the age of 65 faced a higher risk during the first 3 months after learning they had the disease. And October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and new data shows fewer women are dying from the disease. According to the American Cancer Society, breast cancer deaths have dropped by 43% from 1989 to 2020. However, Black women continue to be 40% more likely to lose their lives to breast cancer. This despite there being fewer cases of breast cancer among Black women. And among women younger than 50, Black women are 2 times more likely to die from breast cancer. Those are some of the day's top health stories. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News, New York.
Quick check of that forecast. We'll have increasing clouds and be mostly cloudy by this afternoon with a high of 83. Heading into tonight, we will be mostly cloudy still and mild with an overnight low of 57. We have got some real good fun for you because Jason and Brian Wren from the Waco Schoolhouse Haunt are here to scare up some fun on the morning show. We'll be back right after this. Well, it's now officially spooky season, and so we've started to invite some of the spookiest people in the 4 states to the show. And we begin with Jason and Brian Wren. That's backwards. This is Brian and Jason Wren, despite what this thing says. You guys know who you are, so that's a good thing. But we've got Brian and Jason Wren this morning.
That's okay,
and so you're with the Waco Schoolhouse Haunt. I have seen the signs for it for years. It's one of the few out there I have not made it to yet. So this is kind of exciting for me to kind of get an idea as to what exactly you guys have. So tell me a little bit about the Schoolhouse Haunt.
1934 Schoolhouse. It's been shut down since 1986. We purchased it about 13 years ago, renovated it for a full-blown haunted house. Entertainment, that's all it's used for during the month of October.
All right, and so we're talking, this is a very old schoolhouse, spooky already on its own, and then you guys add a little creature feature to it as well.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of history to it as far as, you know, some of the creepiness, some of the local neighbors, noises they've heard over the years, and some stories of even the janitor had passed away in there, unfortunately, many years ago. So all of the groups that have came in, paranormal groups, they found some activity in 2 certain spots every time pretty consistently. So that is a little bit creepy.
And do you guys tie that into the tour that people kind of go through here?
Not really. A lot of people know the history of it, so they just kind of flow with it. The school in itself is just creepy by itself. It's 1934. You pull up, it's 7:30 in the evening. It's almost dark already. You see this old schoolhouse glowing in the background. That sets the pace. A lot of anxiety sets in for a lot of people.
What exactly inspired you all to buy this building? And I imagine when you got it, it probably wasn't in fantastic shape.
No, it was a lot of work to get it back into shape. That was our younger years. So it took a lot of elbow grease and a lot of time to get it safe.
Yeah, we put a lot of time and effort into it, and it took us a few years to kind of find our bearings. But once we kind of figured out, okay, here's what we need to do. He and I both enjoyed, going to haunted houses when we were younger, but as we got older, we kind of talked about opening one up, and it took this long to finally do it. This is our 10th year there at Waco.
Wow, so you've only been there 10 years. Now, 10 years is a long time, but when you compare it to the age of the building and how long it sat vacant, you've only been there 10 years, which means there's a big gap where that place just sat and scared the folks
it was
of
used
Waco.
for several things over the years with the school. The school put a haunted house on before for Project Graduation from Carl Junction. They did really good with it. We didn't even know it existed. When we pulled in that little town and we seen that building, that was the one we were going to use.
And what's it like, for the folks that do come through? What can they expect when they get there?
A lot of entertainment, good scares. Everybody's fear is different, so you set the pace for that. So everybody that comes in might be scared of just the scenery. Other people will be scared of the mask or the jump scares. It's a lot of fun.
The jump scares, I think, are my absolute favorite part of the whole thing, because you get the other things, they're spooky, and then you get that guy or whoever that just pops out of nowhere and just gets you.
They do it to us all the time. The actors get both of us, nail us all the time.
That's part of the fun, is kind of scaring each other once we get things set up in there. It's a little bit of practice as well.
It's relaxing. It's a lot of fun. A lot of nerve-wracking starting up to it. Once we're involved in it, the October goes by pretty quick.
Now, relaxing is not necessarily a word that I associate with a haunted house, but I mean, for you guys, this is getting to be old hat for you.
It is just a lot of fun.
And so tell me about do you have any specific characters, anybody like that shows up?
We have one good clown, Skittles. He's been there for 10 years with us. He's very popular with the crowd. He's got his own stickers. He's got his own packs of candy hands out.
He's definitely a crowd favorite.
He's a crowd favorite. We have a lot of that. A lot of this stuff is silicone based, easy to put on, very hot, very, very detailed. We go for a lot of detail in the haunt. I remember in school putting on 5th grade haunted houses where you put a lot of trash bags and just a lot of strobe lights. It's totally different nowadays.
I kind of remember some of those when I was younger, the ones that, that's about what they look like. A lot of strobe lights and garbage bags, things like that.
Totally opposite nowadays. Lots of details.
And so for folks that want to get out there, when are you all open and what do they need to know?
We are open weekends in October, Friday, Saturday nights from 7 p.m. until midnight. We do encourage people, because we have become pretty popular. Our lines get pretty long. Try to be in line for sure no later than 11 p.m. And expect to wait nonetheless. $15 entry fee. We do have a fast pass option that cuts your wait time down in half as well when you get there. So.
And then you are at 148 Rose Street in Waco, Missouri.
Yep.
So if people wanting to plug that into GPS.
Off 171 between Pittsburgh and Joplin. Really easy to get to.
All right.
Lots of signs.
Well, Brian, Jason, thank you both so much for coming in this morning.
Looking
forward to this. As I mentioned earlier, I need to get my wife to one of these. She's never been. She loves horror stuff, so this sounds like the perfect place for her to go.
Sure.
And of course, we've got all the information for the Waco Schoolhouse Hunt on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. You can also find them at Waco Schoolhouse Hunt on Facebook. We've got more of the KOAM Morning News coming right up.
It's time to honor today's four-state hero, Sergeant First Class Herbert Cobb. The Joplin, Missouri native served in Korea from 1950 to 1951 as part of the 300 Army Field Artillery attached to the 2nd Marine Division. This highly decorated veteran earned a number of awards, including the Purple Heart, the Oak Leaf Cluster, and the Presidential Unit Citation. To Sergeant First Class Herbert Cobb, we thank you. Today's four-state hero.
Well, a fire lieutenant uses himself as a human shield to save a woman's life from a fire.
Leanna Falk has this heroic story.
Terrifying scene in New Bedford Monday morning.
There's an elderly female and an elderly gentleman trapped on the 3rd floor.
That elderly woman and her grandson, Justin Ramos, say they woke up to a wall of smoke in their home.
I knew I could kind of make it out safe. I know she was wheelchair bound, so it was kind of tough for me, knowing that she was kind of so close but so far away.
Ramos was able to evacuate from the 3rd floor window, but his grandmother had no choice but to wait for help.
I need you to get up to the 3rd floor. Somebody's trapped in the 3rd floor. I can't get in there. There's too much smoke.
That was District Fire Chief Scott Gomes directing Lieutenant Stephen Torres. With no water support inside, he used his own body to protect Justin's grandmother from the flames.
He was able to shield her with his gear, and he put himself between the fire and her, and able to get her out of that. Searching a room or a floor that's on fire without a hose line is one of the most dangerous things you can do.
The fire, so powerful it ripped through most of his protective gear, meant to sustain up to 1,100 degrees, now indefinitely out of service.
Everything that was exposed is now there. This is the damage that was incurred on that SCBA doing what he was doing. The gauge is burned away. The straps themselves are damaged.
A scary situation for all involved, but one Chief Gomes says they've done before and will do again.
As a Avenger 1 and Ladder 1, they did one of the most dangerous operations you can do as a firefighter, and they did it without hesitation. They didn't even think twice.
And of course, we're going to be recognizing our four-state first responders. We have a special first responders lunch today in Miami at the Sacred Heart Catholic Church. In partnership with Service Solutions. We'll be live down there at noon for weather and for this luncheon. So if you're a first responder, make sure you come out and see us and get some lunch on us.
Yeah, I think we'll be serving up hot dogs. So be sure to stop by the parking lot there at the Sacred Heart Catholic Church in Miami for lunch today.
All right, and you're going to have good weather to do it. 83 degrees is our afternoon high today. We'll have increasing clouds and be mostly cloudy by this afternoon. As we head into tonight, we're going to hold on to mostly cloudy skies and drop back down to a mild 57 degrees. And then the future track is where we get interesting. Cold front moves in a little closer by Wednesday. Not a lot associated with it. Brings our temperatures down for a couple of days, but it also brings us isolated to scattered shower and maybe even thunderstorm chances Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And then the future track a little further down the road shows where we have continued scattered shower and thunderstorm chances through most of next week. And then we have a better chance of more widespread activity on Thursday. Quick check of that 7-day shows where we stay warm. 86 Wednesday, 85 on Thursday, 71 Friday thanks to the cold front, 74 Saturday, warming back up to the mid-80s, and then of course we're watching those increasing shower and thunderstorm chances. We're back with more right after this.
Watch News starts now.
Coming up on the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14, the Kansas Supreme Court steps into... All right, let me start this over. Sometimes every now and then the prompter's in the wrong spot. Here we go. It is currently 7:29. Starting this half hour, Craig County, Oklahoma man is dead following a crash Monday morning. Authorities say 60-year-old Stephen King of Welch was driving his golf cart out of a private driveway waiting for traffic to clear. When he drove forward, he hit the side of another car which made him fall out and get hit by the trailer attached to the car. Authorities pronounced King dead at the scene. The driver of the second car was not harmed. Authorities in Labette County, Kansas are investigating after 2 people were found dead Monday morning. Labette County Sheriff's Office received a call around 8:30 Monday morning that 2 bodies, a man and a woman, were found at 693 16,000 Road in Mound Valley. They have not been identified and their deaths are considered suspicious. The KBI is called in to assist. Police in Oklahoma say they found 2 more victims who were wounded in a shooting at an Oklahoma high school football homecoming game. Police initially said one 17-year-old died and another 17-year-old was wounded in the shooting Friday at McLean High School for Science and Technology in Tulsa. But authorities said on Monday that 2 more victims were treated for gunshot wounds, a 20-year-old woman and a 9-year-old girl. Both were treated for their injuries and released from a hospital. Police say the shooter ran away after opening fire during the football game between McLean and Miami High School. No arrests have been made. And a Missouri man took a plea deal for the murders of 2 cattle ranchers. Garland Joey Nelson pleaded guilty, admitting in July of 2019 he had a business dispute with brothers Nicholas and Justin DeMel. The brothers were in town from Wisconsin to collect a $250,000 debt that stemmed from a cattle deal when they went missing. Nelson admitted he shot and killed the 24 and 35-year-old at his mother's farm and then burned their bodies. He was sentenced to 2 life terms in prison without parole. City officials in Pittsburgh hope a new addiction treatment center will alleviate some of the burden on hospitals and police officers. The city last week agreed to pay $400,000 to help build the center. City manager Darren Hall says the center will be beneficial for the city, saving officers a lot of travel time as well as money since they currently are taking patients to other communities. Hall says this has other benefits for the police department as they struggle to find employees.
A huge burden off of the emergency departments at the hospital. And usually when you involve the emergency departments at the hospital, you're also involving our police department or the sheriff's office or somebody from PSU's law enforcement. So it's just really alleviates the overall process and the people that are involved in it.
Construction of the new center will begin in January and should take about 10 months to complete. Well, this morning we're discussing real-life lightsaber fights.
When you think of Star Wars, you know, it's easy to imagine an epic lightsaber fight. And Bladetoberfest gives people the unique opportunity to fight with lightsabers in real life.
Bladetoberfest is a lightsaber combat fighting tournament with 30 to 50 participants squaring off against one another. Regardless
of the skill level, the tournament's primary goal is to unite fans together, better one another, and of course practice their passions. And that brings us to our question to you. Are you a Star Trek fan or a Star Wars fan, or maybe both? Okay, now we're getting our act together here in the 4 states. We got 53% of you that are Star Trek fans, 36% are Star Wars fans. I feel like I may have skewed the voting by calling.
Did you go on there and vote from every computer in the newsroom?
I did not, but that's actually not a bad idea. Here's the deal. I like Star Wars just fine. It's just not my cup of sci-fi tea. Star Trek's my thing. So 53% Star Trek, 36% Star Wars, and 11% of you like them both. Sci-fi is sci-fi for some folks, you know. Make sure you vote through our website, through the app, and of course take part in discussion on our Facebook page. Quick check of the forecast. So we're looking at this cold front off to our northwest, and it won't be this nice looking when it gets here, but it will make some changes in our forecast. 7th and Range line, we are clear. We are nice with this sunrise, 58 degrees, so a mild start to the day in Joplin. 51 Yates Center, 46 Iola, 56 Pittsburgh, Lamar, 58 Carthage, and 50 in Monette as we start the day. Going through the rest of the day, clouds will increase. Will eventually be mostly cloudy by the afternoon with a high of 83 degrees. Will stay mostly cloudy heading into tonight and eventually drop back to a very mild low of 57 degrees. Now the future track does have this to show. This is that cold front. As you can see, shower activity very disorganized. By the time it gets here Friday, it brings our temperatures down. Then Saturday, Sunday, and Monday brings us some isolated to widely scattered shower and thunderstorm chances. And then as we head into next week, we have better shower and thunderstorm chances by Thursday evening. We've got off and on shower chances all week, and then better ones, as you can see, to be more widespread by Thursday. And the 7-day forecast, if it will go, there we are. We still warm up, 86 Wednesday, 85 Thursday, 71 Friday, 74 Saturday, and then those increasing storm chances. And then we again have increasing temperatures back to the mid-80s. We're back with more right after this. We're skipping ahead a bit to the 7-day. Let's start this over here real quick. Okay, so Skywatch Storm Tracker locally is clear, but off to our northwest, we're watching this guy. It's a cold front. Got quite a bit of activity associated with it now. By the time it gets here, unfortunately, not so much. 7th and range line, though, looking good with the sunrise. 58 degrees, a mild start to this October day. It is still October, despite the temperatures we've seen and will continue to see. 56 Chanute, 50 Parsons, 52 Welch, 54 Miami, and 54 Neosho as we start this fine Tuesday morning. We go through today, we will have increasing cloud cover. By this afternoon, we'll be mostly cloudy with a high of 83 degrees, and we'll stay mostly cloudy heading into tonight. We'll very slowly drop back to a low of 57, so another mild evening ahead of us. The future track, here's that cold front by Wednesday. As you can see, not as much activity associated with it, but it will bring temperatures down for a couple of days. Then as we head into the weekend, we've got isolated to scattered shower and thunderstorm chances Saturday, Sunday, and into Monday. And then we watch a system out of the southwest that will bring us isolated to widely scattered shower and thunderstorm chances almost every day next week, almost every day. And then by the time we get into Thursday, you can see we're a little bit cooler. In addition to that, by Thursday evenings when we see our best chances for more widespread shower and thunderstorm activity across the area. 7-day forecast, 86 tomorrow, 85 Thursday, 71 Friday, thanks to that cold front, 74 on Saturday, and then we watch temperatures climb back up into the mid-80s, but at least we're looking at a few more shower and thunderstorm chances, and that's rain that we absolutely need. Well, in Consumer Watch this morning, fraud and scams are becoming a growing problem on the popular peer-to-peer payment service Zelle. That's according to a new report from the office of Democratic Senator Elizabeth Warren. The report points to nearly 200,000 cases from 4 banks where customers claim they were tricked into making a payment. Those cases amount to the loss of around $213 million. The report also found that the large banks that partly own Zelle have been reluctant to compensate customers who have been victimized. Early Warning Services, the company that operates Zelle, has not commented. If you are one of approximately 19 million people who asked for the IRS for another 6 months to file their taxes in 2022, well, that deadline fast approaching. This year, the tax extension deadline for filing your 2021 return is October 17th. Experts recommend filing as soon as possible in order to avoid last-minute pitfalls. They also recommend sending your return electronically since the IRS has struggled with processing paper returns during the pandemic. And check the cheese in your fridge because it may be the subject of a recall. Michigan-based Old Europe Cheese is recalling certain Brie and Camembert cheeses because they could be contaminated with listeria. The cheeses were sold under more than 24 different brand names at popular grocery stores, including Trader Joe's and ShopRite. The company issued the voluntary recall for items with best buy dates through December the 14th. We're going to be right back with more after this, but first, let's go ahead and take a look at the market prices before the opening bell.
Well, some California elementary school students impacted by the Mosquito wildfire came up with a creative way to deal with the trauma that comes with evacuation.
Madison Keevy brings us the catchy tune they recorded to help them cope.
Fear, anxiety, worry, all emotions felt by students at Georgetown Innovation School when the Mosquito fire broke out around them and in their backyard. And what better way to deal with little ones' big emotions than in a song.
It's tough to put big feelings into words. Sometimes it's easier to sing them.
Most of Mrs. Barber's first and second graders at Georgetown School of Innovation evacuated because of the Mosquito fire. Feelings of fear followed.
Nervous.
What made you feel nervous?
When I had to go back, when I was evacuated, I felt kind of nervous. I felt kind of sad and nervous, and my mom was crying in the car.
The Mosquito Fire Blues is an attempt to work through the feelings that come with a wildfire. The original music and beat created by a student's dad.
I left it in the sky, but it wasn't okay.
The lyrics created by this classroom of students.
What do you want to say to the people who saved/helped? We love you. Thank you. Thank you for protecting our school.
TK Chang, idea man behind the music, reads out the thoughts and feelings shared by these kiddos that became the Mosquito Fire Blues.
What I saw was a big mushroom cloud.
We just wanted to do something, to help us process it as adults and for the children to process what was going on, because it was really scary, and I've never felt this kind of feeling before.
It's an excellent way to cope. Music can help you with a number of things, and it looks like these students have certainly found a way to get through just a terrifying situation out there with those wildfires.
Definitely. I can't imagine being in their situation. So.
Yeah, I mean, we may be dry here. You know, we're experiencing a pretty significant drought, but at least we're not to that point. There's worse weather to be had right now across the country, so we're pretty lucky here right now. We need some rain, though. And of course, they absolutely need some rain. They've been getting some rain the last several days, and we're going to be getting some rain over the next several days as well. Not a ton of rain, but rain nonetheless, and anything we can get will certainly help. Now, 7th and Rangeline, the sun is rising, and right now we have clear skies in Joplin, but that's going to change as the day goes on. We're 58 degrees right now in the city. We've got 51 Yates Center, 47 Iola, 50 Parsons, 54 Miami, 54 in Neosho as we start the day. And as we go through the rest of today, as I mentioned, we'll have the increasing clouds through the afternoon. We'll be mostly cloudy this afternoon. We will reach a high, an unseasonably warm 83 degrees, and we'll stay mild tonight under mostly cloudy skies as well as we gradually drop back down to an overnight low of 57. Now, the future track. There's this cold front. Right now, it's off in northwestern Kansas, stretching from Minnesota back into eastern Colorado. By Wednesday morning, it gets a little closer, but as you can see, there's not a lot of activity associated with it, and it'll roll through here Friday and bring us some cooler temperatures. Then as we head into the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, we have isolated the widely scattered shower and thunderstorm chances Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And then as we head into next week, a system out of the southwest pushes a little more moisture our direction and gives us additional isolated to widely scattered shower and thunderstorm chances nearly every day next week. And then by Thursday, first off, you can see it also makes us considerably cooler. And it also, by Thursday evening, gives us a considerably better chance of widespread showers and thunderstorms. So we'll keep an eye on this because we absolutely need this rainfall in the area, and hopefully this comes true. And long range, way down the road, about 2 weeks from today, the computer models are suggesting that we may get locked into a few days of rain by about the 3rd week of October. And if that holds true, not only does it bring us a lot of much needed rain, keeps us locked into the 40s for a little while as well. So much more fall-like weather. Until then, though, this is what we're looking at. 86 tomorrow, 85 Thursday. Cold front gets us to 71 on Friday, 74 Saturday. We warm back up into the mid-80s heading into next week, but we also start seeing a few more of these shower and thunderstorm chances pop up on the board. And we briefly get to more seasonable lows for 2 or 3 nights before they start to warm back up as well. We've got more of the KOAM Morning News coming right up.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Here's what's happening today. The death toll keeps climbing after Hurricane Ian devastated parts of Florida's Gulf Coast, especially around Fort Myers. More than 90 people were killed and over 500,000 are still without power. Rescue crews are going door to door in hard-hit areas. They brought more than 2,000 people to safety. President Biden will visit Florida on Wednesday to see the damage in person. A trial is underway in Washington, D.C. federal court against the founder of the far-right group, the Oath Keepers, and 4 members. Elmer Stewart Rhodes and his associates are charged with seditious conspiracy in conjunction with the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol. They could face up to 20 years in prison. Doctors warn this could be a nasty flu season and urge Americans to get vaccinated. This year, those over 65 years old are advised to get a special shot with extra protection to boost their immune response. The CDC and other health experts will hold a news conference about the flu this morning.
So today we'll have increasing clouds and we'll get mostly cloudy by this afternoon. We will eventually warm up to a high of 83 degrees. We'll stay mostly cloudy through tonight and we'll also be mild, an overnight low of 57 degrees. 7-day forecast, we continue to warm up for a couple of days. 86 tomorrow, 85 Thursday. Cold front Friday brings us down to 71. Then we watch some scattered thunderstorm chances and some showers as we head into the weekend. As we start the next work week, we hold on to those shower chances and temperatures, though, climb back into the mid-80s.
All right, talk about a great celebration. It's National Taco Day.
See, October 4th is the day to chow down on the tasty delight, hard shell or soft shell, stuffed with whatever your heart desires.
Some gooey cheese, delectable meat or seafood, veggies, beans, a dollop of sour cream, or some salsa with a kick. There are savory tacos and dessert tacos.
Like the Choco Taco? As you probably know, we have Mexico to thank for tacos, so why the word taco?
Well, that's not really clear, but one suggested origin is the word a taco, meaning stuff or to stuff.
Now, National Taco Day started back in 2009. No one's taking credit, but whoever it is, we certainly thank you for National Taco Day. We make some amazing homemade tacos, and I think you do too.
Yeah, I love making tacos. Okay, and and it's extra special today because it's also Tuesday, which is Taco Tuesday.
So you've got to plan for it.
If you're wondering if Taco Tuesday, National Taco Day changes every year so it falls on a Tuesday, not the case. Last year, October 4th was celebrated as National Taco Day, and it was on a Monday.
Yeah, so today's the day to really get out there and taco it up.
Super Taco Tuesday. That's what we're going to call it.
Super Taco Tuesday.
Super Taco Tuesday.
That's what you know what? We're just going to leave and go have some tacos for Taco Tuesday on
Breakfast,
the
lunch,
National
and
Taco
dinner.
Day. Absolutely.
Breakfast tacos.
Yeah, they've got it all. Well, thank you so much for letting us put the good in your morning. We're back with more news and weather at noon.
Have a great morning and an even better day.